Let's look at effects. So as you want to set up reverb, we're going to look here on FX1. That's where we're going to put our reverb. And we select edit. And then to look at the types of reverb, there's an icon here. We select this. And this is where you see the different effects types. So you have everything from reverb hall, you have some plate reverb, you have some delays, plenty of different types of effect that you can add to your sound. Typically, you'll want to select an effect type that's the opposite of where you are. So if you're in an outdoor stadium that's nice and open with not a whole lot of reverb happening from the space, you give yourself a hall, nice open sound or reverb stage. But if you're in a dome that has a lot of natural reverb, you can select something a whole lot smaller, like a reverb room, to kind of balance that out. On the reverbs, you can see that you have reverb time. This tells you how long it lasts after you stop the sound. And then you have the initial delay, which is how long before the effect starts after the acoustic sound has begun. You want to look at keeping this delay short, 10 to 20 milliseconds, so that some of the effect is part of the sound before the natural reverb kicks in. On the reverb time, this can vary depending on the venue you're on, but somewhere short is pretty well to choose. Somewhere in the 1.4 second is fine. Wet dry determines how much of the reverb sound and how much of the dry acoustic sound is in the mix. This is to taste, and so you adjust that. And you can use your headphones by selecting Q so that your headphones are playing that effect sound through the channel, so you can check that. Just because you've set this up doesn't mean sound is coming through that's affected. Select Send From, and on the channel that you want to use, I'm going to use channel 1, you select how much of that signal is coming through to the effects engine. Start low and start raising it until you get the effect that you want. You do have an option for pre and post fader. Pre-fader means that the acoustic channel strip, as you move that fader up and down, has no effect on how much signal is sent to the effects engine. If you select post fader, as you move the channel slider, that does affect how much of the effect is also included. So if you have a reverb and you start boosting post fader, then it'll be as if you're live in acoustic, because if you are live in acoustic, the louder you're singing, the more reverb you would hear in the hall. So post fader means that it is affected when you move the dry acoustic sound. Pre-fader means that your reverb is not affected, and this comes into play when you use automation, when you use some scene changes and you program in some crescendos and decrescendos. One more thing you can do, you do have a 2-band EQ, so you can sculpt the sound of the reverb. You have your shelf type, you have bell type, you also have high and low pass filters that you can engage, just so you can add an extra layer of sculpting of the sound, remove some treble frequencies. So you do have that option, and you can turn the EQ on and off. When you want it on, remember it has to be highlighted green. That's how you set up EQ, and thank you for watching.